Now begin our time for members to ask questions, and I'll begin by recognizing myself for 5 minutes. Ms. Whitcomb, how many pieces of inbound international mail did the Postal Service receive last year?
I believe the number is about 275 million parcels received via inbound international mail.
Do you have any tracking information as to which countries those come from?
I think the Postal Service does. I don't know if Mr. Cottrell may have some better information on that. I don't personally have that with me today.
Mr. Cottrell, do you keep track of where those come from?
The Postal Service does, sir. That's not my arena, but we certainly can provide that information for you afterwards.
Would they also keep track of any increase of mail coming from a country?
Yes.
All right. So if there, over the last 5 years, is an increase coming, say, from China, we would know about that. Okay.
Yes, sir. If I could just add that, yes, the vast majority of the 275 million parcels that came in last year are coming from China, and that number continues to increase with e-commerce.
Okay. Now, unlike, and I'll go back, Ms. Whitcomb, to you here, unlike the Postal Service competitors, the Postal Service, post office is not required to provide the electronic advanced data to CBP for targeting purposes. Now, my question is, does this mean, how is this inbound mail sorted? Does it have to be done by hand?
How is it? Is it sorted?
Well, yeah, I mean, when you're looking for a potential target,
Right.
how is that done?
I believe that the Postal Service, as Ms. Rectanis mentioned, has to look through parcels and sacks and things like that when CBP requests a specific parcel to review. And then the Postal Service has to locate that parcel and then provide it to CBP.
But that has to be done by hand.
I believe so.
Is that
Yes,
correct?
sir. If I may, yes, it is a very manual process. When all the international mail is received, the big sacks first come through all the radiation detection equipment, so that is the first step. After there are no radioactive materials in any of the parcels, then we work to identify those sacks in the mail that we want to see. And then those are brought to us. We then send them through the X-ray systems. We send them through the canines. We manually open them. So without advanced data to target ahead of time, it is a very manual, very labor-intensive process.
So that's a daunting task. Is there
Yes,
any
sir,
way
it
that
is.
you can possibly, under that scenario, keep up with the requirement?
The volumes are very challenging. We, of course, prioritize the incoming mail based on threat, and we devote our resources to those that represent the greatest threat, but the volume is overwhelming, yes, sir.
Okay, so you're not able to keep up with what's required from CBP? I don't see any way. What percentage are you behind?
Oh, I don't think we have a number as to how much we look at because of the different layers that we have. So there is, again, advanced targeting when the data is available. Those shipments will be placed on hold and physically presented to us. And then again, we basically take sacks coming from a particular country of interest and start running all of those packages through X-rays, through the canines. We physically open them. So it is, again, it's a very manual process to keep up with the flows each day.
All right, so you can't consistently present all the mail to CBP as required, correct?
No.
All right.
Go ahead, sir.
So, where is there a memorandum of understanding of what is supposed to occur? Mr. Cottrell, is probably best for you.
Yes, Mr. Chairman. I do have my operations man, Robert Raines. He can explain some of the inroads we've made in automating some of these processes to try to make it a little more manageable for Customs.
Okay.
Yes, sir. So
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
just 1 second. I have no objection at all to the testimony of the gentleman. Just remind you, he's not sworn in.
He was
He was
you were
sworn.
sworn in, yes.
What, you were?
He was recognized
before I got it.
before and
Okay.
sworn in.
Thank you.
Yes.
Excuse me.
Thank you.
Since May, we've developed technology to scan most of these parcels in large sacks, and we automatically run them on automation equipment to sort them for CBP, and we provide them with a single package they're looking for.
Okay, so is there a memorandum of understanding that has been signed, or will it be
Yes,
signed?
sir, it was signed.
Okay, can you provide a copy of that to this committee? All right, real quickly, let me go back to Mr. Cottrell here. I want to go back to where I was getting to a little earlier in terms of keeping track of countries and increased mail or whatever packages coming from China. What percentage, would you have any idea, of incoming international mail comes from China?
I'm going to deflect that to Mr. Raines, too.
It's a significant portion of mail does come.
Like, what does that mean? 10%, 20%?
No,
Just to
it's
guess.
larger than 20%.
Okay.
Sorry?
Has that number increased over the last 5 years?
Yes.
How much so?
It increases double digits every year.
Okay. Are there any other countries where we are seeing increased?
We see increases from other countries, not as significant as China.
Okay, so there is something that would potentially raise a red flag. What's going on? Why are we receiving more from China, or is that standard?
I think there are a lot of low-value items that get shipped from China, so we see from an e-commerce perspective that that's a growing industry.
Okay, my time has expired. I'll recognize the